Welcome to a new episode of Investing Fool, where we talk about DIY momentum investing. And today is rebalancing day because 14th was the last session we had in the market, and then there was the weekend, and yesterday it was Bakrid. So the markets opened today and we rebalanced today. So आज rebalancing की बात करेंगे, portfolio की भी थोड़ी सी बात करेंगे, and then we'll talk about the real estate sector a bit because the newest entry is from the real estate sector. So पहले पोर्टफोलियो की पोर्टफोलियो को एक बार देख लेते हैं. वैसे बिफोर मूविंग टू द पोर्टफोलियो, जस्ट द familiar disclaimer. Now the disclaimer is a little bit more worded, so you can study it in your own time, but the basics is that none of the securities or the concepts or anything discussed in this video is financial advice or recommendation or suggestion or anything. I'm not a registered advisor, so please consult your advisor before you're taking any financial decisions. And without further delay, let's just look at the portfolio. We'll keep the video short and sweet today. So I've already made the rebalancing change here, but let's look at the one-day change in our portfolio. So different stocks are going like crazy. Cochin Shipyard upper circuit today, 10% rise. HAL, I had shared a post about it today. So HAL got a new order of about 45,000 crore for 156 light combat helicopters. So HAL was up 6.3%, was 4% gap up in today's trade. By the end it was close to 6.3%. And if we look at the other two different stocks that we have, so BDL and BEL both close to 2.5%. The other gainers were Kalyan Jewelers. Kalyan Jewelers was consolidating for quite a bit of time. I'm not sure why it run up today, but good for us, 6.5% up. Dixon 2.7%. Dixon has been performing really crazy. Like it is going it is showing really bullish momentum, right? So stock को आए हुए ज़्यादा दिन नहीं हुए हैं, but it has given close to 39% returns. Trent was again up. Trent we discussed in our last video. Trent was up again today, almost 2%. And if we look at the net gain till now, it is close to 79% for Trent. HAL is now close to 85%, and Cochin Shipyard is the mammoth at 160% gain till now. Okay, so market has been very generous. If we look at the all-time returns for the market, right? Only in the last video I think we were discussing कि हमारा जो alpha है compared to our benchmark index of NSE 500, that was close to 5%, and in today's trade only I think it has crossed 7%. So the benchmark is at 26.9% and we are more than 33.9% up. And that is because of, like, if you see these returns, right, the benchmark today grew by 0.5%, and your portfolio, momentum portfolios in general, if they grow by like 1.9, close to 2%, then such difference will come by. But momentum cuts both ways, so it's like really good on the good days and really bad on the bad days. So जब उठता है तो इतना उठता है कि will also feel doubtful कि इतना कैसे भाग रहा है, and जब गिरता है तो इतना गिरता है कि you will also feel doubtful कि इतना कैसे crash कर रहा है, right? So it's on good days it feels very good, on bad days it feels really terrible. So we should always have that caveat, and we should always be humble and accept that it is only pure luck that has brought us to this place, and this can be taken away anytime. Okay, in the long run obviously it is expected to outperform, but in the short term you never know. This 7% of difference we have created in the past also, 5%, 7% difference. If anything bad happens, although like our core election uncertainty is out of the way now, but the budget is coming, there are so many things. The US elections will come, rate cuts may not happen, anything, market can correct anytime, and when those kind of corrections can happen, the momentum portfolios can also fall by quite a bit. So we should always have that in mind. Portfolio का तो discussion हो गया. वैसे there are few changes that I'm making in this sheet, so I think I'll discuss that. So if you look at this strategy tab, right, I've kept a flow chart here. I'm still making final changes here, so this is not final, but anyway, once I make it final, I'll not have this disclaimer probably, and the screener link and everything is here. But the other thing was this market cap distribution tab. So here you can actually see how the distribution of mid cap versus small cap versus large cap has trended in our portfolio from the beginning. So November से लेके अभी तक how the distribution has been, and this shows the current distribution. So This time in rebalancing we are exiting one large cap stock and we are entering one small cap stock. So उस वजह से जो large cap का distribution है वो 55% से कम होकर 50% हो गया है. Small cap has grown from 10% to 15% and mid cap is 35%. And if you look at this distribution, so we started with when we started, the large caps were well small, then they gradually increased a bit, and then they have kind of stabilized. So currently they constitute half of the portfolio. Okay, now let's go back to the slide. So let's disclose the name first, right? So the large cap exit is NTPC. So NTPC has been there in our portfolio for quite a bit, almost 6 months, more than 6 months actually, and the new small cap stock that we are entering is Shobha. It's a real estate stock, and I think we have previously discussed about Shobha, Prestige, and all these real estate stocks that are doing really well over the past few months, almost a year, right? But before we talk more about NTPC and Shobha, I'll just call out a few more things. So कुछ stocks में dividend आए. So Bajaj Auto में I think 80 rupees per share था, BSC, Torrent Power. So in momentum you can never aim for dividend. Like dividend doesn't influence your decisions in any way. You are not investing in stocks to get dividends. But जैसे costs और transaction costs and taxes and all these ये जो सब कटते हैं, similarly जब dividend आता है, so ये minus होता है, वो plus होता है. So it doesn't impact your decision, but when anything plus comes, it's always a plus, right? So this is just a coincidence that you were holding those stocks when their dividend record date was there. So it's just a matter of luck, as most of investing is. So and if you talk about the sectors, so there are few sectors that have continue to show momentum. So power stocks are going really good, auto stocks are going really good, the entire real estate pack, and defense stocks you already know, they are the largest constituent in our portfolio also. Some new names that have come up in this screener is Motherson Sumi, auto ancillaries. काफ़ी टाइम पहले मैं ये ओन करता था. आई थिंक ये गाड़ियों का जो वायरिंग होता है वो सब बनाता है. इट्स अ रियली बिग कंपनी. एंड Prestige real estate, again the entire real estate pack is moving. Blue Star in consumer durables, M&M and Hero MotoCorp in auto. So these stocks are buzzing. They can be on your radar if you want to look at them. They are showing good momentum, all of these, and they might come again in the future. वैसे Hero MotoCorp तो पहले भी आया है हमारे पोर्टफोलियो में, ज़्यादा कुछ करके नहीं गया. आई थिंक लॉस देके गया था. Prestige भी आया था. Prestige was neither in gain nor in loss. I think 0.2% या कुछ उसका रिटर्न था. Okay, in other news, HAL का RFP हमने डिस्कस कर दिया. So this is like a 45,000. अभी ऑर्डर नहीं आया, अभी RFP है, which is request for proposal, and these are 156 light combat helicopters जो प्रचंड बोलते हैं, 90 for the Indian Army and 66 for the Indian Air Force. So इसका ऑर्डर मिलने वाला है HAL को. So the stock has been showing good momentum anyway. And the last piece was there are some source based news, again no confirmation, that budget ke time pe there could be some income tax relief for some segments of the society on the cards. So this could be aimed at increasing consumption from the Indian middle class and lower class also, right? So with that, some stocks could benefit from if the government goes for a consumption push. So capex तो पहले से चल रहा है, right? We have always we have already once talked about infrastructure. So infrastructure भी करना है, गवर्नमेंट को capex भी करना है, गवर्नमेंट को कंजम्पशन भी बढ़ाना है, और गवर्नमेंट को फिजिकल डेफिसिट को भी कंट्रोल करना है, right? So within that, like consumption was somehow getting ignored, and it was a red flag, because historically Indian economy has, like, the wheels have come on consumption. We are not a manufacturing driven or an investment driven economy, right? We were always largely a consumption driven economy. तो अभी अगर consumption पे ध्यान जाता है government का, so some stocks can perform, and I'm not saying like these are FMCG stocks or anything. Like even Trent is a consumer stock, right? Then even something like Dixon is a consumer durables stock. So many sectors can profit, but as and when we see signals, we see momentum indicators, we see entry signals, only then we will enter those stocks. So okay, now let's discuss the outgoing stock, which is NTPC. If you look at this chart here, कहीं ना कहीं मतलब थोड़ा सा स्लो हो रहा है. जून 3 के दिन इट हैड आई थिंक फॉलन बाय ऑलमोस्ट 15%. इट हैज रिकवर्ड बट अगेन इट्स नॉट गोइंग एनीवेयर. वो एक ही चैनल में काइंड ऑफ ऊपर नीचे हो रहा है. एंड अगर एब्सोल्यूट सेंस में देखा जाए तो स्टॉक इज नॉट लॉस मेकिंग, राइट. इट इज अ प्रॉफिटेबल स्टॉक ओनली. इट इज गिवन 21%. 21% इज अ गुड रिटर्न इवन फॉर 1 year on a 1 year basis. If you look, the problem is that there are other कॉम्पिटिटर्स, राइट, जो कि उससे अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं. तो एनटीपीसी खुद हमारे पैसे डुबा के नहीं जा रहा है. इट हैज गिवन अस 21%, राइट. बट उससे अच्छे करने वाले स्टॉक्स, उसके जो पियर्स हैं, दोज आर काइंड ऑफ किकिंग दैट स्टॉक आउट. So we always kick the relative losers out of our portfolio and we keep the winners, right? So if you look at this table, this I had copied from my this sheet only. So if you, this is the tail of two stocks, right? NTPC is almost double in market cap compared to Trent, but if you look, Trent और NTPC हमने दोनों एक दिन खरीदा था. We bought both of these stocks on the same day, which is 15th of December, so mid-December last year we bought both of these stocks, and the stories are so divergent. Trent went up like this is older data. आज का डेटा अगर लें तो Trent is up like 78% and NTPC is up only 21%. So somewhere there is a divergence in the performance, right? And the winner stays on. So Trent, if you look at our screener, right, Trent is still at rank 3rd. So Trent is probably going to stay on for a long time. Like I wish it stays on for as long as possible. Like it just keeps performing. We do not know where it will stop. So the winners will keep running and the losers, and here it's not an absolute loser. It is a relative loser, right? पैसे तो वो भी बना के दे रहा है, but it's a relative loser and it is losing out, it is going off. So if we go to this exits tab on the sheet, right, here we can see all the exits that have happened in our portfolio from the beginning. So इसमें last वाला जो है that is June. So June, mid June, we are only taking out one stock, which is NTPC. We bought it at 305. We are selling it at 370. The gain is around 21%, and it is a gainer, and it has stayed for 186 days. So this is probably the second longest stayer after Tata Motors, which was the last stock in our portfolio. Which was there from the beginning. मतलब portfolio के starting से Tata Motors was there with us, but it got axed out in the last rebalancing, and NTPC is following on its heels. So this is like almost 190 days, so more than 6 months, right? Now the average holding period has slightly improved to 70 days. So this is the average number of days a stock stays in our portfolio, right? If we look at the winners percentage, it is now 45%, losers is 55%, and the average gain for winners is 21% and average loss is for losers is 10%. Now this is very important. See, momentum kabhi bhi, if 20 stocks are coming in your portfolio, it's not that 15 of them will perform, right? Maybe only 5-6 of them will perform. 15 will eventually go out. If you look at the starting portfolio that we had in November of 2023, none of those stocks are there in our portfolio anymore, right? सारे चले गए, नए stocks आ गए. So churn always keeps happening, right? So the majority of stocks in your portfolio will be losers. So be very accepting of that fact कि mostly you will pick losers, right? I mostly pick losers. Most of my stocks end up in losses, but the stocks that end up in gains, they more than compensate for the losers. So if you look at this, although my winners are less than 50%, right, they are 45%, but the average gain for winners is 21%, while my losers are more than 50%, which means I am losing money on more than half of my stocks, but the loss per loser is less than 10%, right? So that is where the alpha is coming from. So this is probably we can do a separate video on this also, but this is something that we should always keep in mind. Okay, now so we already talked about these two stocks, how their paths diverged, and let's now talk about Shobha. So Shobha is a Bangalore based like real estate company. I am myself based in Bangalore, so we see a lot of like projects and societies here, which is from Shobha, as is like Prestige, Brigade. All these are also like south based developers, I think. So Bangalore is almost 60, more than 60% of the pie of Shobha. The next best is I think at Delhi NCR at 20 odd percent. The market cap is 20,000 crore, less than like 1/6 of Trent, and the stock price has grown crazy over the past 1 year. You look very carefully. Year to date growth is 113%. 1 year return is 297%. 5-year return is 319%. Right. So let this sink in. Just look at this again. 1 year return is 297%. 5-year return is 319%. So the majority of the return in the last 5 years has only come in the last 1 year. Right. उससे पहले 4 साल सो रहा था स्टॉक, कुछ नहीं कर रहा था. Right. And this is what happens in real estate, especially in real estate kind of sectors, right? They keep sleeping for a long time, and then they just start running all of a sudden. So PE of 421, again, as I always say, कि fundamental का lens momentum में नहीं लगाना है. If you apply that fundamental lens, you will never be able to convince yourself to buy. Who buys the stock at a PE of 421, right? It's just nonsense. But that is what the strategy says, and that is what we have to do. RSI of 68, less than 70, so maybe not in very dangerous territory, but let's see. Most of the momentum stocks anyway come with a very high RSI. Q4 results were bad for Shobha. There are many red flags, right? Net profit was down 85% year on year. EBITDA was down 47% year on year. Ops revenue was the only green flag, which grew 37% year on year. So Q4 results were bad. The market is probably the market knows something that we are not able to gauge from the results, and that is why it has been pushing Shobha higher and higher, along with the other real estate players as well. Oberoi Realty, Prestige, Phoenix Mills, Brigade, all these are going up, right? Recently, the management agreed to a 2,000 crore rights issue. So the discount is almost 25%. So 1651, you will get, I think, 6 shares of 1651 for 47 fully paid up shares, and you have to apply for it, obviously, on the relevant portal. But look at this amazing chart here. The stock was at 500. Now it has grown more than 4 times in such a short span. This is the 100 DMA and this is the 200 DMA. यहाँ पे correction हुआ था, but then again it picked up. And real estate sector, if you look at the sector, right, let's look at this is what I wanted to show you, right? When we look at the realty index, this is the index. This is composed of all the real estate stocks. So this has not crossed its all-time high of which was earlier than 2008, just before the global financial crisis ka crash. The housing bubble burst, and then the index fell like crazy. It recovered a bit before 2010, but then again in the bear market of 2011 to 2013, it just trended below, and then it just languished for 10 years. Just look at this index. It is nothing for 10 years, almost a decade, and now after 2020, it has started going up, and it has started going up like a rocket, right? Real estate is a sector जिसमें the cycles are long. They're not short like auto. So the cycles are like 7-8 years, 10 years. So when these stocks do not perform, they do not perform for a long years, right? When they start performing, that performance can sustain for a very long time. So even though Shobha might look very overvalued now कि अभी इतना बढ़ गया है और कहाँ जाएगा, real estate as a sector can still perform for many years now to come, right? We cannot take that off the chart completely ki now that it has performed for 1 year, it won't perform going forward. This could be the start of a long-term bull trend in the real estate sector also, because this sector works like this. So we have to keep that in mind while we are taking Shobha. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today's video. I kept it short and sweet. So if you like this video, press the like button. And if you have any real estate stocks in your portfolio, please let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.